mystery interstellar object that was spotted by astronomers last week. It could be the oldest comet ever seen.
The data stream cut off without warning. One moment, observatories around the globe were locked onto 3E Atlas, an object screaming through our solar system from interstellar space.
This is the first time something like that is observed, where there is a glow ahead of the object towards the sun.
The next, a blanket of official silence descended. To put it mildly, the astronomical community was in an uproar. Whispers turned into theories, but nobody knew the real story. Now, weeks later, the reason for the secrecy is starting to emerge, and it's far more shocking than anyone imagined. NASA wasn't just observing a comet, they were tracking something that showed unmistakable signs of not being natural. The cosmic enigma. On July 1st, 2025, the world of astronomy changed forever. The Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System, or ATLAS, perched high in the desolate mountains of Chile, flagged something extraordinary. It was a faint speck of light moving with a purpose that defied our understanding of the cosmos. This wasn't just another asteroid. Its path was a hyperbola, a screaming celestial announcement that it was not from around here. It was a visitor from the vast, dark ocean between the stars, and humanity had just spotted it. They named it 3I Atlas, the third interstellar object ever detected. The initial excitement was electric. You see, this was a chance to study a piece of another solar system right in our own backyard. What many overlooked at the time was just how strange it was from the very beginning. Unlike a typical comet, it had no tail, no fuzzy coma of gas and dust. It was just a clean, sharp point of light on a mission. NASA, along with every major space agency, turned their most powerful eyes toward the visitor. The Hubble and the brand new James Webb Space Telescope were retasked, their schedules cleared for what was being called the most important astronomical event of the new century. For the first 2 weeks, the data flowed freely. Scientists marveled at its speed, an incredible 160,000 miles per hour. They debated its origins, speculating it could be older than our own sun, a primordial relic from the galaxy's infancy. The public was hooked. News channels ran nightly segments, and social media was ablaze with speculation, and then it all just stopped. To put it mildly, the silence was jarring. The official NASA live feed for 3I Atlas went dark. Press briefings were canceled. Scientists who had been giving excited interviews were suddenly unavailable for comment. The blackout was total and absolute. For weeks, the world was left in a state of suspended animation. The object was still out there, getting closer, but the one organization with the best view was refusing to say a word. The thing nobody tells you is that in the world of astronomical observation, no news is never good news. It means the data is either so boring it's not worth sharing, or it's so terrifying they don't know how to share it. Rumors began to swirl. Had it vanished? Was it a threat? Had they been wrong all along? The vacuum of information was filled with fear and wild theories. Many people were going crazy with speculation, imagining the worst-case scenarios. It took nearly a month for the truth to finally claw its way into the light, not through an official press conference, but through a leak. A 20-page internal document stamped classified appeared online. It contained the data NASA had been hiding and a conclusion that sent shockwaves across the globe. The document stated, in no uncertain terms, that after analyzing its trajectory, emissions, and fragmentation, 3I Atlas could not be a natural object. It was artificial. What they saw was not just a rock, but a machine, an alien blueprint. So what did NASA see that was so shocking it warranted a global information blackout? The leaked documents read less like an astronomical report and more like a forensic analysis of something completely alien. You see, the first major red flag was the trajectory. While its path was hyperbolic, meaning it came from interstellar space, the new, more detailed observations showed something impossible. It was making minute, almost imperceptible course corrections. We're talking about adjustments so small they were initially dismissed as errors in the data. But as the James Webb Telescope watched, the pattern became undeniable. It wasn't just coasting on momentum, it was navigating. It adjusted its path ever so slightly as if to get a better look at us, a deviation of just a few dozen feet over millions of miles. No comet does that. No natural object can alter its own course. Then there was the issue of its composition. As 3I Atlas got a little closer to the sun, it still wasn't behaving like a normal comet. It didn't develop a tail of sublimating ice and dust. Instead, it began to vent gas in controlled, rhythmic pulses. Spectrometers, which analyze the chemical makeup of an object by looking at the light it gives off, picked up traces of water ice and carbon dioxide, just as the initial report suggested. But what they also found were staggering quantities of xenon. Xenon is a heavy, stable gas that's used on Earth in one very specific way, as a propellant for ion engines in our most advanced spacecraft. To find it venting from a comet in structured bursts was, to put it mildly, a smoking gun. It wasn't outgassing, it was maneuvering. The final and perhaps most dramatic piece of evidence came when the object began to break apart. Or rather, when it appeared to. Small pieces were observed separating from the main body. This isn't unusual for comets under tidal stress. But what many overlooked was how they separated. The pieces didn't tumble away randomly. 3 identical, smaller objects detached in a perfect triangular formation and moved away from the main body at the same speed, maintaining their precise spacing. They weren't fragments, they were probes, they were deploying. NASA wasn't looking at a comet breaking up, they were witnessing the deliberate, controlled deployment of a sophisticated piece of technology that was billions of years older than humanity itself. This wasn't a discovery, it was an arrival. This machine wasn't just passing by, it seemed to have a purpose, a message or a machine. With the evidence laid bare, the question shifted from, what is it, to what does it want? The world was suddenly forced to confront a reality that had until now been the exclusive domain of science fiction. The thing nobody tells you about First Contact is that it's unlikely to be a grand cinematic announcement. It's more likely to start just like this, with a mystery, an anomaly that slowly unravels into an undeniable truth. The object, now clearly some kind of artificial probe or vessel, was acting with a quiet, observational patience. It hadn't hailed us with radio signals. It hadn't made any aggressive moves. It was simply watching. The deployment of the 3 smaller probes only deepened the mystery. Were they scanners? Were they mapping our solar system? Or were they searching for something specific? With the evidence on the table, the question exploded from what is it to the much more terrifying what does it want? Humanity was suddenly forced to confront a reality that until now was just for the movies. One of the leading theories spreading like wildfire among those analyzing the leak is that 3I Atlas is a von Neumann probe. The thing nobody tells you is, this isn't just a simple robot, it's a self-replicating spacecraft, an ancient cosmic machine designed to travel between star systems for millions of years. Once it arrives in a new system like ours, it uses the raw materials it finds, like asteroids and dust in our own asteroid belt, to build perfect copies of itself. Those copies then launch themselves toward new stars, spreading like a slow, deliberate virus of technology across the galaxy. If this is true, our galaxy could be filled with these silent, ancient explorers, and we just happened to spot one as it passed through. A wow factor to consider is this. If a civilization launched these probes just a few million years ago, a mere blink in cosmic time, their creations could have already reached every single star system in the Milky Way by now. We could be just one stop on an ancient, automated tour of the galaxy. But is it just a tour? Or is it a survey, cataloging resources for a future arrival? Another, perhaps more hopeful possibility is that it's a messenger. Imagine a galactic encyclopedia, a message in a bottle from a long-dead civilization, just waiting for a species smart enough to recognize it and figure out how to open it. The rhythmic pulses of xenon gas might not be for propulsion at all, but a form of communication, a simple beacon flashing the message, I am here and I am not natural. The problem is, even if it's a gift of knowledge, we have no way of knowing how to answer or how to accept it. Then there are the darker theories. What many have overlooked is that the object's course corrections seem designed for observation. This leads to the chilling idea that 3I Atlas is a sentry, a cosmic tripwire. Maybe an ancient intelligence seeded the galaxy with these probes, programmed to lie dormant until they detect the signs of an emerging technological species like us. Our radio waves, our satellites, our first ventures into space, all of it could have been the alarm that finally woke it up. Its purpose wouldn't be to talk to us, but to report on us to whatever is listening. Finally, there's the most unsettling theory of all, that it's a derelict. A ghost ship from an unknown creator, adrift for eons, its original mission lost to the deep time between the stars. It's now simply a machine executing its final ancient programming as it stumbles into our system. Are we observing an active intelligence or just the haunting echo of one? The answer might change our place in the universe forever. Earth's new dawn. So why the secrecy? Why did NASA, an agency built on the promise of public discovery, feel the need to hide this monumental event from the very people that fund it? The final pages of the leaked document offer a chilling glimpse into the psychology of a government grappling with the single greatest revelation in human history. To put it mildly, they panicked. You see, the immediate concern wasn't scientific, it was human. It was about global stability. How would the world's 8 billion people react to the undeniable fact that we are not alone? Would there be mass hysteria, people flooding the streets in fear of an invasion? Would the world's financial markets collapse overnight, triggered by the ultimate uncertainty? The thing nobody tells you about a moment like this is that every pillar of society is suddenly on shaky ground. Would religions be thrown into chaos, their creation stories challenged by a visitor from another star? Would geopolitical tensions explode as nations might suspect the object was an advanced weapon belonging to a rival, not some distant alien race? The decision was made at the highest, most secret levels of government to control the narrative, to put a lid on the information until they could even begin to understand what they were dealing with. They were trying to answer the most important question of all: is it a threat? The problem is, how do you assess the intentions of an intelligence that might be millions of years more advanced than you are? It's like an ant trying to understand the motivation of a human holding a magnifying glass. But what happens when a secret this big, this world-altering, gets out before you're ready? That's the situation we're in right now. We, the people watching this, are left to pick up the pieces and wonder what it all means. Did this all just happen overnight? Is this real? Are we missing a key detail? The absolute truth is, we are. We're only seeing fragments of a much larger story through a classified leak. We have to understand that the universe itself did not change. It was always this way. It has always been a place where things like 3i Atlas were possible, where other life and other intelligences could exist. We were just living in a state of blissful ignorance. We are the ones who have to change now. Our entire perspective of our place in the cosmos has been shattered in an instant. The history books are incomplete. The night sky will never look the same again. We are not alone, and we have never been alone. What many overlooked in the initial panic and chaos of the leak is the incredible world-changing opportunity this represents. Let's be real for a moment. It's easy to focus on the fear, but we have to look past it. So as we stare out at the stars, we're left with a profound new reality. What do you think the true purpose of this visitor is? Let us know in the comments. And if you want to stay on top of the story that changes everything, make sure to like this video and subscribe.